Be clear here, in case for folks wondering at home, the 4 people who voted in support of getting rid of Superintendent Joe Morelock are the very same who put forth and voted in support of putting a ban on pride flags and Black Lives Matter flags on district property. Now, they didn't offer any reason in the public setting as to why they decided to fire Superintendent Joe Morelock, which means in the next 10 days he will be losing his job, which was set to be in place until 2024. However, although they didn't really discuss it in the public forum, a lot of the frustration and the arguments that apparently happened in executive session last night started to leak out immediately after the vote. We want to play you a short clip from that meeting now.
Motion passed 4-3.
I protest that none of you had anything to say why you wanted to do this. That the public is
Motion's over, Rebecca. It's done. We've already discussed this.
We know exactly why, Rebecca, because they're cowards and they know they're going to get sued. We know exactly why. We don't need to discuss it.
We're going to move on now.
Go ahead and just adjourn the meeting. Please do, Dave. Please adjourn this.
Are we going to move on, or you want to stop now?
I move that we just adjourn the meeting at this point. I don't think anything constructive will happen with this board again.
I'll second.
Now, that back and forth involved Chair Dave Brown. He was the one who submitted this proposal, which was then seconded last night. Again, no context given in the public forum as to why they decided to fire the superintendent, and a lot of the frustration coming from the other board members as to, look, this means now we're not only going to have to pay out his contract, or at least for the next year as a part of that termination, but now we're also going to have to bring in an interim superintendent. So essentially paying for 2 superintendents at the same time. That's a cost that's going to fall on students in the classroom. Angelica, back to you.
Yeah, and to not even get a simple answer as to why is frustrating. So, Dan, what was the response from the members who voted in favor of this?
This is all information we're truly going to be working on finding out in the days to come, Angelica. Again, nothing given in the public setting, which was a complaint made by other members who voted against this decision. But we do want to find out why they decided to fire their superintendent, why they decided to fire him right now, and what the plan is for immediate leadership within the Newberg Public School District. All information that we're hoping to get, and we'll bring updates as soon as we learn more about this relatively shocking decision made by the school board that's been making headlines nationally this year, Angelica. In the wake of a controversial board vote to fire its superintendent, parents in Newberg expressed some concerns about the district's direction.
It just concerns me because my kids go to the school, and what is this going to do to my kids and their education? I feel like they're being lost in all this other stuff.
Other parents said they supported the September decision to ban political flags, but said this latest move might have been premature.
That's not a great look, and the general consensus among the people I talk to is that the schools waste a lot of money anyway, so that's probably not a great idea.
It's unclear what the plan is to replace Superintendent Morelock, who board members say will still need to be paid for another year as part of the termination.
That's money that could be going to the schools, I don't know, to the children's education, and it's kind of ridiculous, I think.
As a school board in a relatively small Oregon community continues to make big waves for reasons outside the classroom.
It seems like the school district's got a lot of attention recently for a lot of things. And I was really kind of hoping to move out here to avoid a lot of that. So yeah, I'm not super happy with all the protests and all the stuff going on.
The next Newberg School Board meeting is scheduled for the 23rd, and parents have the option to submit public comments online. It's expected at that point that Morelock will be out of his position given the vote on Tuesday night. In Newberg, Dan McCarthy, K2 News.
And this is a developing story. K2 will continue to try and get comment from the 4 board members who voted to fire the superintendent. We'll also follow the process to find an interim and replacement superintendent.
They're in a short break right now. You said they've been listening to testimony for about an hour. That covers about 35 people. There are almost 300 people, Steve, signed up, so this will be a very long meeting. People are weighing in on the council's fall budget plans. The mayor is proposing spending about $5.5 million commissioners to address police staffing, police recruiting, and training. The council is also proposing a full expansion of the Portland Street response at a cost of about $1 million. The biggest chunk of this money goes to the most obvious crisis in Portland, homelessness. Nearly $20 million would cover up increased camp cleanups, expand shelter bed capacity, and clean up trash and graffiti on Portland streets. The mayor summed up one of his goals with this budget process like this. Take a listen.
Small business operators need to know that their shops won't be broken into and they won't be repeatedly shuttered by shattered windows and vandalism. Employees of businesses all across our city, large and small businesses, they need to feel comfortable coming and going from work, and customers should feel and be safe supporting our local economy.
Not much of a surprise here, but most of the public comments so far have focused on the policing topic and the response to homelessness. Commissioners have left the door open to voting on this spending proposal when the testimony is over. The big question, though, is how long will that be? It's unclear if they plan to listen to 9 hours of testimony without a lengthy break. We'll have another update at 6.
No, they don't, and they are investigating, but it is absolutely a scary situation. This happened right off of Paddon Parkway, right near where we are at, which is generally a very busy area. She was running in the middle of the day when this happened, and she says it is extremely scary for anyone who lives around here.
It's a harsh reality. This kind of thing can happen.
It's a call and a reality Jessie Nilo never expected. Her daughter, 26-year-old Alicia, wounded by gunfire. Not even a mile from her home while running here on Paddon Parkway near Ward Road. It's a busy area where Alicia runs often and never worried for her safety. That all changed on October 28th.
So she's just running on her normal exercise routine and she feels a stabbing pain in her hip, looks down and there's an entry hole from a bullet and with blood and of course there's a hole in her exercise clothes and so she ducked and covered and was really cautious.
Alicia was shot. The bullet lodged in her hip. Clark County Sheriff's Office says deputies are investigating, trying to determine where the bullet came from, but call the shooting random. Now, investigators say at this point, again, they do not have any suspects, but they are investigating and asking anyone in the area who might have information from that day to please come forward. Now, coming up tonight at 5 o'clock, Alicia has a long road ahead of her. We'll have more details on her recovery at 5.